welcome to Purl Perspectives. Today, we're doing things a little bit differently. Today, you have 2 for the price of 3.
So 2/3.
It's Ren Fair weekend. And yesterday, Carine went to the Ren Fair. And today, Anaï's going to the Ren Fair. And I just don't. I don't go to the Ren Fair because I don't like crowds. So today, you're getting a 2-shot. Carine and I are coming to you live from my living room today. And we'll be chatting to you today about our dorks, about some books that have really had incredible impacts on us and books that we want to read. And then if we have some time at the end of our session today, some inspiration. Or at least the things that we're really vibing with in the making community.
Yeah.
So, buckle up, I guess. Pull out something to work on. Get a little cozy. Get a little bevy. And join us for a couple of hours of crafting and chatting. Hope you like it. Is it going to go again? Oh, well. Maybe it won't. Oh, well.
That's
okay.
We're doing our thing.
This is Annie's domain.
Yes.
We're just the backups.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're the backup. I'm the useless. No. I don't know what's happening. I'm just here.
She came over yesterday and she gave me like a 20-minute tutorial and she's like, this is how it works. And then she paused and she goes, why don't you grab your phone and video everything I'm telling you? And I was like, that's a good idea. I took a video of everything. She showed me how to set it all up. And I was like, thanks, Mom. I think I can do it, Mom. I promise. Oh. And then I left it entirely as she set it up. I didn't move anything.
Honestly, though.
I didn't pack it up, didn't break it down, left it all as it is.
This literally, like... This situation really speaks to how this is, like, her thing and she knows what she's doing. And, I mean, she'll say she doesn't know, but she does. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even when she doesn't know, she still knows what she's doing. Like, we are very much the backup or I don't know what's happening.
Oh. Interesting that it's not showing up on the stream. You finally made it to a live. Yay! Welcome, it's on music. Okay, is it showing on?
We're on YouTube.
Okay, perfect.
So I think that's the...
So, interestingly enough, for some reason, when I flip over to YouTube Studio, it's not showing
up. Oh, we got somebody.
Yay! Okay, we can see the chat here. We just can't see ourselves.
Oh my god. Okay, well that's fine. Or it's because
it's just on a delay.
It's a very big delay.
That's...
Well, go back to the other one, because that was pretty much doing...
But it doesn't have the chat.
Oh.
That's fine. We'll just check.
It's fine. We'll just have our own chat, like, here.
This is going to sound so...
We're doing our best.
No, oh my god, you don't even understand. Okay, so yesterday when Annie came over to get everything set up, she was showing me how to set up the streams, and we did, like, a practice stream and everything like that, and it immediately started buffering. And we're like, what is happening? This is so odd. And so I pulled up one of those, like, websites where you can test your internet speed.
Yeah.
And so I boopity-booped and I tested my internet speed and it was like, oh, you have 26 megabytes per second upload speed or download speed, but I had like 0.54 megabytes per second upload speed. And I was like, that can't be good. That can't be good. And like, that's for basically if I just wanted to read emails.
Yeah.
That's like nothing. And I was like, I don't think I remember signing up for this slow of an upload speed. So I have to do a little bit of investigating to see if I'm actually getting the service that I'm paying for.
Yeah.
So right now I'm actually on Anaï's Wi-Fi. I'm not even on my own Wi-Fi, which is why you're actually getting video streaming.
Which is sad, but also, yeah, we're doing our best.
So I'm going to look into that and then potentially switch internet providers.
Who are you with? Oh, no, don't say it.
Yeah.
Let's not be those people.
I don't know. Or maybe it is that I just decided to go with a package that did not really involve uploading at all. Because,
maybe.
like, I don't really do a lot of uploading, so I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't know. We'll see.
But, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, I guess, do we want to...
Why don't we get started with our dorks?
Dorks, yeah. I don't know how quickly that's going to go, if it's just the two of us. I don't know how
Who knows?
We'll see. I can start, I guess. So
before you do, I'm just going to hold mine up now.
Oh.
Just because it's going to be easier than when I'm in the middle of a row.
Okay, well then, actually, you know what? Do yours first.
Okay.
We might, you know what? How about we do our dork a little deconstructed?
Oh, yes!
The read would be the last one.
Yeah.
Because that's our intro to
We have piles.
Yeah.
Little sneaky peeky.
We're the readers here.
Little sneaky peeky. I mean, Annie's a reader as well.
Yeah, but like, I feel like...
You and I devour books.
She's a slow, I want to
savor.
We're like, we're gremlins. Like,
think about it this way: if we went to a restaurant, she would be like taking a bite and savoring the bite and like deconstructing all the flavors in her mouth and being like, I want to sit here and I want to like enjoy this whole meal. You and I would be like,
and then we'd like, oh, I forgot what it tasted like.
Yeah, pretty
that
much.
would be me anyway.
That's how we are as readers.
So, yes, okay.
Oops.
So yeah,
but then why don't we do it where we both do what we're drinking, we both do what we're wearing,
oh shit,
we
I love
both do
that.
what we're knitting, and then we do our reading.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so what are you drinking?
Water, but in this wonderful
Knit
cup that I'm obsessed with.
Oh,
Although I do like this. Actually, I didn't know this. So this piece broke off, and you can buy just the top piece on Amazon.
Oh.
FYI, if one of your whatever this
like
cup is called,
or whatever.
it's kind of like the Stanleys. If those things break, like there's a very cheap.
Nice. So you don't have to replace the whole cup. You can just replace the one broken piece.
Because
love that.
For a bit, I was using the broken piece, and I was like, this is not this is not working.
I'm drinking. It is a pineapple sparkling water, half and half, with a Bahama Mama tea from David's Tea.
That sounds lovely.
Want to try it?
Yeah,
it's sparkly, but it's not too sparkly. It's like a tropical tea, so it's got like pineapple and hibiscus in there. Not hibiscus, sorry. It's pineapple, and I think there's like lemon balm and like orange peel, and it's a whole bunch of like tropical flavors.
That's the
tea.
The David's Tea, okay.
The David's
So
Tea,
this is like the just a little higher threshold of fizz that I can handle.
That's totally
like
fair.
It's not bad.
I like combining the two.
My problem with fizz, I know it's gonna sound weird, but like it for some reason it overrides the taste for me.
Yeah, well, carbonation gives it a flavor.
Like even if it tastes the most wonderful flavor in the world, all I taste is the carbonation. That's the only thing my taste buds can handle during that moment, and that I think that's why I'm not a fan of anything that's carbonated, is because like it overrides the taste too much. I
like carbonated beverages because they add a taste to something.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
You know, like, again.
I don't like the taste of plain water. It's so, like, I'm like,
for me, it's like the opposite.
You could add something to the water.
I don't know. I can't, like, to me, it's like even flavored water. Like, my partner loves flavored water.
Yeah.
Or carbonated water. I don't want anything to do with any of those things. I'm okay with, like, plain tap water. I am the cheapest date you'll ever have. Oh. Or at least he will ever have.
But it's not a bad thing. We should all be drinking more water. Future Allie, when you do the show notes, take a sip. Ironically enough, when I did the show notes for our last episode, I picked up my water bottle and I took a sip. And then a second later, me of the past went, Future Allie, take a sip of water. And I was like, oh, I'm on it. And I took a second sip of water. I was like, yes.
Look at me being a responsible, hydrated adult.
We're doing the thing. And so I felt very proud of myself in that moment for taking 2 sips of water. So, you know.
That's the one thing in my life I never had to, like, force myself to.
Yeah.
It was a running joke in my family because my mom never drinks water. She, you have to kind of force her to drink. Yeah. She forgets. Yeah. Versus me, who's like, I over drink all the time. So we kind of like joke that like when
like our equilibrium together.
Yeah, essentially like I just when she gave birth to me, I just took all that like water with me, and I was like, no, I'm the one who's gonna like hoard the water. I don't know.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's so dumb.
I love it. Okay, what are you wearing? We've seen this before.
Yes.
It is beautiful.
This is the Rocket Tea by I always
Tanith Lavallee.
Tanith Lavallee. I have such a bad memory for names.
That's okay.
Of things.
That's why we have show
But
notes.
this is the second one I did. So I love it. I'm obsessed. It's the tencel. I still have
such a great base.
Yeah, I still have some of that, so I could technically do a second one if I wanted to. Because a third one. The difference with this one and the previous one is that because this is variegated, you can barely see the stripes. But in the other one, you can see them very, very well.
Oh yeah, if you like put your fingers behind it and really look at it closely, you can see it.
But it's really subtle, so it's not really worth.
So
at
if you're
point,
new,
I don't really
if you
care.
have not encountered the Rocket Tea pattern before, the way the designer has created it is that you do stripes where it's one stripe of like she's designed it in like fingering and mohair together. So you do one stripe of the fingering and mohair together, and then one stripe of just the mohair. So you get almost like an opaque kind of look.
Yeah.
And then the fingering and the mohair, and then just the mohair. So what we've done, because Annie, myself, and Carine, we've all knit the Rocket Tee, is we did it with tencel, where we did 2 strands of tencel, 1 strand of tencel, 2 strands of tencel.
Yeah.
So you kind of mimic that opaque look, but in a summer weight garment.
Which is amazing.
It's so nice. But as you say, the variegated kind of hides it a bit.
Hides it. But I mean, it still looks great.
It's
as
so
a I
nice.
could technically just like knit.
And it's such a color palette too.
Yeah. I could just knit it as like just 2 strands the whole way. And I don't think it would be it would still look great, right? Because it's a great summer t-shirt is what it is.
I have so many bits and bobs of tencel left over from other projects, and I want to knit one where I like fade it, but like it's marled, but I like fade it through the colors. But I just do it solid all the way, so I don't stripe it.
Okay.
I think that would be a fun way to use up all of these leftover little bits.
You're right. I do have a lot, but I don't think I have enough of one color to do a full Rocket Tee.
Yeah.
Or the outline tee. That's another one that I think tencel works so well for. It's
I gotta make another one of those. Oh, I love
this.
So
I only
much.
have one, and you're right. I you know what? If I do another one, it should be that one.
Summer knits. Let's get going. Speaking of summer knits, I am wearing my first Tolsta tee by Rebecca Clow of the Crea Bea. This is knit in wool. So this is not a like height of summer. I cannot wear this in like July and August. I would be a puddle. I would just melt. But I love this. I love this shirt so much. I love this pattern so much. I've knit it twice. I've knit it once in wool and once in yak, which I need to make better choices. I really should knit one in cotton.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that must be
t-shirt.
insanely warm.
It is, but it's so great though because I love the combination of wearing a wool t-shirt over like a spaghetti strap summer dress in the fall and winter.
Oh,
right?
Okay, yeah.
So the combination of doing that is fantastic, right? So doing that, it's 20 out of 10. I would recommend taking a look at your wardrobe and seeing, like in your closet, do you have a lot of, say, summer clothes? Okay, if you make one winter or fall garment, can you wear that with your summer garment and then extend that summer garment into multiple seasons?
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Do it, right? Like, do you love wearing jean shorts? Can you slap a pair of tights on, knit yourself a pair of leg warmers, and then wear those jean shorts into the fall?
Oh, yeah.
Do it! I'm telling you, multi-seasonal wardrobes are the freaking best.
Well, also because it helps you like not have to have like 50,000 pieces of clothing. Like you can have a little less, just making them more.
There is also to be said. There is nothing wrong with having seasonal wardrobes.
Well, of course.
That you wear in the fall and then you pack away in the winter and then you pull out the next fall. There's nothing wrong with that if that is what suits your lifestyle. Do that. But if you want to extend your clothes into multiple seasons, knitwear is a great way to do that.
Exactly.
Especially your summer clothes. Extend them into the fall and winter. Because I love me a good spaghetti strap. But I can't wear a spaghetti strap in the winter. I will just be a little chilly.
Yeah.
So, put one of these over top, and then everyone's like, oh my god, I love your skirt. And then I get to go, it's a dress! In the workplace. In the workplace, I get to go, it's a dress!
And then it was like, wait.
Then they're like, oh my god. And I'm like, hey. Thankfully, I've been in my current workplace for almost 3 years, and my coworkers are now used to it.
They know you.
But I don't do it to everybody. I only do it to the people who know that I'm not about to flash them.
Okay.
Unless they specifically ask to be flashed. And then I make sure nobody else is around, and then I only show them what they've asked to be shown. It's all consensual. For the record. It's all consensual. I promise. I would never disrespect somebody's boundaries. Girl Scouts honor.
Well,
I would never disrespect somebody's boundaries.
Because we're, respectful.
Okay. Now, so that I can start knitting. Let me show you what I'm working on. This is the Daft Days shawl. Ooh. Also, ironically enough, by Rebecca Clow of the Crea Bea. I'm so in love with this shawl. It is all bunched up on the needles, and I only have 2 more stripes to go. I have the light pink and the dark pink, and then I can do the border. So I'm so close to being done. I cannot wait. This shawl is one of my 12 cast-ons challenge. So if you have seen our extra series of videos called Project Pearls, I have 2 videos out. Carine's next video is premiering next weekend. Spoiler alert. Please go check them out. In them, we talk more in depth about some of the projects that we have going on in the background. Projects that are a little bit too big to get into in depth on the podcast. Yeah. So for my project, I'm working on a knit-along that involves casting on 12 different projects. One of them is the Daft Days Shawl. I'm so close to being done it. I cannot wait. This is actually quite a soothing pattern. And it's very enjoyable to knit on when I'm watching TV or reading. Because it's a very simple pattern repeat. So, now that I've shown you, I can actually start knitting on it.
Yay! Well, let me just finish this little thing so I can pass my... There we go.
Just gonna check the comments.
Plop.
See if... Oh, actually, I could just do this over here. Ooh, 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 ooh. YouTube was saying things.
Okay. So I am at the very end of the first sleeve of the doppio sweater. So I have about, I don't know, maybe 15 rows left to do. So I'm excited. Honestly, I'm at this point, I love it. I really enjoy working on it, but I'm also over it. So I'm trying to when you get to for me anyway, when I get to the sleeves, I'm like, I want this to be done. I don't get the second sleeve problem usually because I power through.
You're very narrow, focused in at that point.
Yeah. So, and as you will see in next week's video, I mentioned the fact that I'm zeroed in on this one right now because this is technically part of my 10 projects. It wasn't originally.
No. Oh no, it wasn't.
And then I realized I have all this yarn that I already have that I don't have to buy, and I could do this with it.
And you've been saying you've wanted to knit this one for a bit. So.
Well, yes,
you've mentioned it before.
I had another sweater that's a little similar to the doppio sweater. Mm-hmm. I think it's called the Mia sweater. I might be wrong.
Yes, that sounds familiar.
There's a chunky version, and then there's a DK version or sport version, and but. These ones are it's one strand it's pretty much one strand chunky, or I mean you could do a comparison if you want, but with this one what I like is that I got to use 3 strands, right? So I'm using more yarn to get the right gauge. So it's used, and it's yarn that I've been wanting to use for a bit, and I'm realizing as I'm knitting this and as I was looking at all the other projects I was working on for the video, I was like, as much as I love alpaca, and that's very much me, I really have a thing for silk based stuff because so almost every yarn I use that's luxury yarn or whatever you want to call it, luxury yarn, has a silk content, even if it's 10%, right? The pink in here is 50% silk. Yeah. And the rest, I thought it was 100% alpaca, but it's actually 75 or 70% alpaca and 30% silk. Okay. So, yeah.
But it has such a beautiful sheen to it, though.
I know. And it's just so soft and just everything about it.
It creates such a beautiful drape. You just can't go wrong with the silk base.
You cannot.
So and it's going to be so warm and comfy.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I'm going to wear it, pretty much the second... the weather permits me to wear this outside without an extra layer on. Yeah, because
you're not going to be wearing it as soon as you're done. It's going to be way too warm for that.
No, I will not. I will be putting it away and patiently waiting until most likely probably a little too early and still be I'm going to try anyway. And then I'm going to sweat my pants off. But I will try. The first day that it's lower than 10 degrees, I'm going to give it a shot. And then I'll be this is still too warm. But,
nothing wrong with that.
So that's what I'm knitting. Before we get into the books, how about I give you a little recap of
Yes! Oh my god, yes! I want to hear all about the fair. Dummy.
So,
I'm going to turn directly towards you.
Those who may not know, the Glengarry Renaissance Fair happens, I guess it happens around this time every year.
Every year, yeah.
This was my first time, so this was my first experience, though my quote-unquote review is more how I felt, because I can't really review something that I'm not, Like, I don't know much about, right? Like, I'm just here for the vibes, essentially. Now, I need to give a shout out to our friend Lindsay, who literally, and I am not kidding, made me a corset from scratch. So on the Thursday knit night. So the Thursday knit night, we're like a bunch of us are talking about like, oh yeah, like we're gonna be going there. It's gonna be fun, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, yeah, I ordered, or I don't know what I'm gonna wear for the top. I already have the skirt covered, but I was like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna wear. And then they recommended, how about like if you have a blouse, you can wear like a little corset or something, which is very medieval-ish style.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And then we went on Amazon to see if I could get one that would ship relatively quickly, because we didn't have a lot of room to work with. And Amazon failed miserably, because they're like, oh yeah, it'll be there. Then it was not. So, meanwhile, so while we're having this conversation, I do this, and then Lindsay just goes like, oh, well, I still have scrap fabric from like my skirt that I made. So how about like, if I feel like it, I'll make you an extra one. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And then she's like, yeah. I'm like, what? Like, no, that's a lot of work. She's like, it'll be fine. And she's like, I can't promise anything. I'm just letting you know that, like, if I have the time, I'll try to do it. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Like, it's a great backup. Mm-hmm. Literally 2 hours later, after going back home, she sends...
This is like 10 p.m. Like
she sends pictures of, like, all the pieces, like, pretty much ready to go and be sewn. Yep. She sends that to Andy, who, because they were coordinating for the outfit on like how to do things. Yeah. And she hadn't even finished her skirt, and she was like
already piecing
my stuff, and I'm like, wow, and then she sends me a text. I think the same night or the next day, like early, and it's like essentially the bodice like all sewn up together.
Yeah. No, it must have been like the day after.
The day after. It to me. Yeah, it was the day after.
You showed it to me.
Because then she's and all it needed was like the boning and the whatever. But like, and all I remember typing right away is like, "You're a machine. What is this?" Like this was supposed to be a backup plan. Like, what happened? No. But yeah, so this happened. And for those who are wondering, the Amazon corset did show up one day before the event. Mm-hmm. I decided to not wear it. Yeah. So I obviously wore Lindsay's corset instead, which is lovely, and now it's mine. And I was supposed to pay for her food the entire Ren Fair, and she always ran away so she always paid for her own food. So I was like, you know what? And then on the way back home, we realized that we both love Saint-Exupéry. Mm-hmm. So I said, like, my treat, I'm going to treat you to Saint-Exupéry whenever, like, when you're ready, let's go. Like, because it's literally, like...
You live close to one.
I'm very close to one. So, but yeah, so back to the Renaissance Fair. Atmosphere, amazing. So many people. Mm-hmm. I want to thank Anaïs so much for giving me the advice of bringing snacks and, like, being prepared for... I didn't do any lines. I think we were 7 in total. Mm-hmm. 3 of us did not.
Yeah, you brought all your food.
We brought food, or we ate enough that we didn't feel like we needed food.
That's good.
And the other 7. So the other 4 went in line, and some of them waited for like the pulled pork sandwiches. Mm-hmm. They got like within, I think, like 10 people. And then they were told there's no more pulled pork.
No.
So they had to go for like brisket instead, which I'm sure was still lovely.
Probably still delicious, but like when you have your heart set on something, it's hard to...
And you are not kidding, Anna. The lines are disturbingly long. I think they waited at least an hour and a half, if not 2.
Oh my god.
We went, like the 3 of us just went shopping around. Which reminds me, we also, so the line to get in is actually super long, but it was in pretty quickly because they just scan you and you go in. Yeah. And me and Lindsay are walking up to the because we traveled together, and then who do we see but our friend Michelle, who's like by herself. She's like, I just came here by myself. We're like, hey dude, there's like 6 of us. Like, just
join the party.
So she ended up just joining us, which made 7.
That's amazing. Great number. So, great number for Ren Fair. 7.
Yeah, this was awesome. There's a lot of really cool activities: axe throwing, birds of prey demonstrations. Cool. My favorite was the owl. I don't really like.
Owls are great.
Falcons, but I love owls.
Owls are great. And they're so wise.
Although it's kind of funny because when he came, like, because they keep him in a little enclosure and then they bring him out, and you could tell he's like, why am I here? Like, he looked so, like, I was sleeping, I was having a good dream. What is, like, he looked like you just woke him up and he is not having it. The other ones were fully like, yeah, let's do this. And he's like, like he looked like, and it's one of those, like, great owls, like the gray, really nice, big, you know, with the little ear things.
Yeah.
So, like,
great horned owl.
yeah, so he looked like severe to begin with, even if he wasn't, you know,
amazing.
Grumpy, but I'm pretty sure he was grumpy. Jousting, which was probably the main event, obviously, super fun. The announcer for the jousting events is so, I love him so much. So apparently he was part of some kind of jousting
they travel.
TV show or whatever.
So the troupe that does, my coworker was there yesterday and she was telling me all about it on Friday. The troupe that does the jousting travels to, like, fairs and events across the country and across the states and does this, like, basically all year round. Yeah. And they've been featured on, like, multiple TV shows.
Okay, because he was part of the TV show, like, and you can tell, like, he's very much, like, you can tell this is what he lives and breathes.
Entertainer.
It's very, very good for him. He was one of the best parts of this thing. The knights were, like, I will give them props for accuracy because they really were doing full contact, full speed, full, like, these are not props, this is real. Like, they went as accurate, and I just love how the announcer kept saying, why? Because we have a free healthcare here. Like, anyway, that was, like, the running joke of, like, why they can go so hard, because they don't mess around. This is not a cute little sport. This is, like, you could get seriously damaged.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Even the armor was, like,
big plate
real armor. Like, this is not just, like, oh, it looks cute. Like, they went full on, like, this is, it's funny, like, the people who are, like, doing the joust are essentially just, like, normal human people who just enjoy this, and I'm assuming, obviously, you know, trained for this, but they have normal jobs. They have, like, one of them actually was a Air Force pilot from the military, from our military. So, and the thing is, the way they set up the joust, half the arena has to cheer for one night and the other half has to cheer for the other night, and I was on the wrong side.
You're sitting in the blue section or the red section?
I was sitting on the section that was apparently supposed to boo the Canadian Air Force guy, and I'm like, but I can't. So half the time, instead of booing him, I'd be like, yeah! And every time you're supposed to, like, cheer for the other one, I was like, boo! And then everyone's like, what's your problem? I'm like, my brain is really, really confused right now because I'm supposed to be cheering for my you know, like, my comrade at arms. Yeah. Well, I'm not part of, but, like,
she's embedded in the military, folks. She's embedded in the military.
So I may not be a member, but I will always cheer for them. So, like, so it was just one of those things where I'm like, my brain is confused. And the other guy was really cool, too. Like, they both won different, like, events, because there's also games that are pretty cool, including one, and I kid you not, they put a watermelon on top of the head of the squire, who has a helmet on, but, like, it's a
safety first,
pretty, like, it's not gonna do much. And then the knights on horseback have to run at full speed you know, run as fast as they can in this smaller-ish area. And then they have to take a sword and they have to cut, not only do they have to cut the watermelon, it's a competition on how close to the head they can get. And when I tell you that the first guy, which was technically our guy on our side, did 2 centimeters away from the head. It was tiny. It was disturbing. No! I was sitting there like, I'm
so
having
scary.
anxiety. And this you
that
could
is
tell,
so scary.
You could tell that the knight, or sorry, not the knight, but the squire was like,
he's like, just another Saturday.
Yeah, like, he's used to this. Saturday. But, like, I don't know, like, I'm assuming they've practiced this before, but, like, wow, I was so impressed by the fact that, like, and I'm not kidding, like, I saw this with my own eyes, that the watermelon was probably about, like, this size.
Yeah.
So it was,
that's
like,
not a big watermelon.
Like, right, two. Just like, you could barely see the piece from where we were standing. It was, so this was fun. Sorry, there's just a comment I want to make sure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so she says, I'm assuming it's a she.
They say.
They say, Owl Music, I love going to the Ren Fair each year. I always buy one new clothing. Yeah, wait till I tell you what I bought to make the outfit better. And that's exactly what I plan on doing.
That's so smart.
So, my outfit, other than the beautiful corset, the little chemise thingy that I found at a thrift store, the skirt was something I made myself, but it was kind of like it's a normal skirt that's not necessarily Ren Fair. It's just a skirt that I happened to make myself that kind of looked like it could be passed for like a peasant skirt.
Yeah.
So, but when I was over there, I saw this skirt from, if you're from Montreal and you know this shop, there's a shop called Excalibur that pretty much sells medieval stuff. And when I was a kid, I was obsessed with it, to the point where the dress I wore for my graduation, my college graduation, was a Renaissance dress from Excalibur. So in one of the booths, there was a skirt that it was the only skirt left. It was in my size. It was a nice, beautiful burgundy red. Like you would have loved that color. With like the lacing in the front, and I'm like, I look at this, and I'm like, this is from Excalibur, isn't it? And then I looked, and sure enough, it says inside that it's from Excalibur. So I was like, it's mine now. So I literally put it on top of the dress that the skirt that I already had. So it made the skirt a little puffier.
Yeah.
So it looked
like a
pretty
petticoat.
cool.
It was like you were wearing it over a petticoat.
Yeah, because like yesterday was a little chilly-ish, especially in the morning.
Better than too hot, like in years past.
Oh, 100%. But like, yeah. So I kind of needed that extra little thing. Mm-hmm. I also got a belt because we need a belt. And it took me a while to get one because I couldn't find one that I really liked. And then I saw one that right away I saw it, and Annie's like, oh yeah, I knew you were going to go for that one because it's a fidget spinner at the same time. And it's not a real fidget spinner, but that's how I feel. Because so it has a weight at the bottom of it, like because those like are made. Long belt, yeah, so they're made to like you attach them and then you let the thing go along like all the way down. And the bottom is kind of like it's a weight. It's metal. It's made in Quebec. It's they actually punch the holes for you when you buy it.
Oh, nice. So it's like really.
So it's like really to your size.
Nice.
And so I put it on, and it's long enough that I can just grab it and go because of the weight. Yeah. And I have to be careful. I didn't hit anybody. I hit myself once, but we're not going to talk about that
part. With practice, that won't happen.
But I was like, this is like a fidget spinner. And they're like, you found your thing. I was like, I found my thing. So I was so excited. And then the other thing I bought, we went to this little like kiosk that had a lot of like, I don't know how to like, potion bottles and like, and dried flowers and like, and I wanted at least one
something to hang off of your
bottle that I could like hang off that just kind of looked like I'm a witch, or like not necessarily a witch, but like I know my potions and shit, you know? Somebody that like maybe I'm a peasant, but a man would see me at that age and go like, she's a witch because she has like
she's a witch.
And I couldn't decide between two bottles, so I just bought both.
Nice.
They're both small and they're real glass because you can go for plastic. They do sell them in plastic. I don't like plastic in general. If I can buy the real thing, I will always try to buy the real thing. And they were really small, so they're not heavy. They're definitely heavier than plastic, but they're not super heavy. Nice. So I bought these two. And then what else did I buy? I think that was for the outfit. That was it for the outfit. The one thing I wish I could have bought was a mini cloak, like one of those that like ends here.
Capelet?
Yeah.
Capelet. You could make one.
That's what I plan on doing because I saw this one kiosk that was selling them and they were beautiful. There was one in particular that I was like, oh my god, I really want it. They were disgustingly expensive. And don't get me wrong, I get it. It's a lot of work and they're beautiful and the fabric and all blah blah blah. Yeah. But like, no. So I'm going to go to the thrift store and get myself bed sheets, and I'm going to make myself a nice little, I kind of want like a summer one. Yeah. And then I want a winter one that's like a full blown one.
So when I used to give ghost walking tours, we had summer capes or summer cloaks and winter cloaks that we would go back and forth to. And there was this one winter cloak that I would always try to get every year because I was like, this is the best one. And it was a full length. They were all full length, obviously, but it had like an elbow length capelet over top of the full length, and it had the like arm cutouts underneath the elbow length capelet, so that you could put your arms through, and you could have that like kind of intermediary. So you could wear the full length, but you could stick your arms through and have like that movement. But if you really wanted to, you could retract your arms and be underneath, and then have like the full length capelet with the like that added extra bonus of like floof flounce.
Yeah.
I would recommend that.
That actually sounds like something
it would be a lot of extra work because you do have to cut in the arm slit and you do have to have that extra flounce. And then if you want to have the hood, you're adding the hood and it's all lined and everything, but beautiful.
Honestly.
And it's so swishy.
Honestly.
I'm team cloak, truly. I'm team cloak all the way.
100%. Like, I do feel like the Renaissance Fair is probably the best way for me to actually get into sewing.
Yeah, because you want to make the costumes.
Because I really want to make the costumes. So I'm like, the accessories, not as much. Like, it's like a little, like, another thing I would like, there were a lot of beautiful ones. I spent a lot, so I stopped. But like a little satchel or a little like bag that I could put on the belt. So like, these are all things that clearly I want to go back, is what I'm trying to say.
I feel like there's enough, like, small artisan craft workshops that are popping up.
Yeah.
That there's gotta be, like that dumpling bag that you bought, or that Linda bought you at Knit City.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be somebody in the city that's teaching, like, intro to leatherworking classes.
Probably.
Where you could learn how to make a small leatherwork
But that one, though, I kind of really want to buy one that's already made, because the work that these people make is sure. Like, because sometimes they'll have a symbol on it, or like they'll have like it's just, it looks really nice. Like there's this one guy that was there that had like a shit ton of different ones, and they were really relatively well priced. I just again, I saw them at the end and I had already spent a lot of money, so I just stopped myself. Fair. But I wanted to buy them. A new hobby to I can't see this.
A new hobby to spend.
Oops. To spend maybe a little too much money at.
Yeah, exactly.
Amen.
Every hobby is a new hobby to spend a little too much money at if you really want to.
So this was the costume. Everything else, everything, there's not a lot more, but like the other stuff I bought were actually D&D related, because I'm about to start a new campaign, and I was like, there was at least 3, if not 4 kiosks that were like D&D dice, D&D like stuff related.
Nice.
And I bought myself 2 sets of dice.
Woo!
One that like I was kind of like freaking out because it's it has like I think it's epoxy or like resin probably, but it has like little cats in it, like that are just like peeking out. Cute. And there's red. It's beautiful.
Nice.
And then the other one that I couldn't like stop myself. They were expensive. This is very much I shouldn't have done this. I don't care.
If you can afford it, though.
They're in a like little velvet box, and they're made of glass. And it's like
glass.
It's glass, but like different colored glass.
Ooh.
So like it looks fabulous. I didn't want to show off, so I didn't bring them because they're freaking insane.
I'll just come over to see them.
And I did buy myself a little dice mat so that they can be protected.
Yes.
So it's all in velvet, and that one was actually
Look, you are the person who introduced me to the topic of the Fun Fund and taught me about the importance of having...
everything I bought was from the Fun Fund.
Exactly. You were the person who taught me about the importance of like tucking a little bit of money away at each paycheck into the Fun Fund so that you're never cutting yourself off from enjoying your life and making financial decisions where like you're taking care of yourself and all of your needs, but you're also being able to enjoy the things in life when they pop up. So you're just following your own advice here.
I think what works so much for me with this particular setup is because it's automatic, like essentially every paycheck, a part of the money goes to your fun, a part goes to your savings, whatever, however you want to do it. Yeah. Because it's automatic, you don't see it. So half the time, within 2-3 months, I'll be like, oh look, I have money in the fun that I can use. So like, you don't realize that it's there. Yep. You don't, because you're not...
Excellent advice, truly.
So yeah, anyway.
It's been very grateful, and I'm very grateful that you gave it to me because it's been very helpful in my life.
I may have a little addiction with personal finances. I just love that shit.
I've learned a lot from you. So
the last thing I got are these 2 lovely little bookmarks.
What do they say?
So they say everything I need them to say. One of them says, be a good girl and spread those pages. Which I've seen before, but like, that's right. And the other one is, I like my romance books on the dark side. That one is more gold. Ooh, wait.
Amazing.
So they're very, very nice. I'm obsessed with them.
That's great.
They were like, I couldn't.
So good.
I could not choose between the 2. because I felt like both speak to me on a
Mhm.
spiritual level. So I was like, I just need both.
Yep.
And then one of the ladies at the booth was like, yeah, that sounds like me. So I was like, yeah. So all in all, this was a great event. It was very packed. So just be aware that they have a humongous parking. So you're not going to have a problem finding parking because but the line to park will be extensive. So if this usually opens at 10, show up like we did 3/4 of an hour early. Like show up earlier because otherwise
that you're not waiting in line for parking that long.
Because we showed up and we were like 10 minutes away and it was like still an hour away. So we're like, maybe we should like sit somewhere and just relax. And then by the time we got there, the line was already pretty long. They started to like divide people to get to the parking in different directions because it was too I don't know how many people showed up, but it has to be like easily a few thousands, if not more. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you how many.
They're only going to sell so many tickets for a day because of like crowd restrictions. But I've never been to the Glengarry Renaissance Fair, but I have been told by multiple people that Saturday is a busier day, and that if you're interested in going, but crowds are not your thing, to go on Sunday.
On the Sunday, yeah, that would make sense.
That's what I've been told. So if you're interested in going, but you're hesitant about big crowds, try going on the Sunday. Oops, I missed a stitch.
No.
I was too excited.
Yeah.
Too excited.
So yeah, that's the recap. If you've
such a fun
never
day.
been to a Ren Fair, for the love of God, try one just for, if you can. It was super fun. It's very accessible. The rows, I guess, between kiosks are very, very, very large. And I saw multiple people with like wheelchairs and with accessibility issues that like could. Yeah, I can't speak to their experience, but it sounds like it was okay. I'm sure it's not necessarily the best because you're still on grass in some areas, but it still beats like not being able to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food was nice. I mean, I didn't eat the food at the fair. I ate some of it because I stole some stuff from people. The only thing I bought myself was they had Kawartha ice cream, and it was advertised for $8. I don't think I've ever gotten that much ice cream for $8 in my life.
Dang.
Like they do not cheap out on their portions.
Okay.
Holy crap! Like I'm like, oh, $8. It's gonna be like for 2 scoops. By the way, 2 scoops. So I went for 2 different flavors. Like at first I wanted it on a cone. By the end of it, I was like, can I get it in a bowl? Because it was so large. Yeah. Like it was. I'm not kidding. It was like this big. God. Like I can't eat this like that. Like it's gonna fall. Yeah. So we literally just in the bowl, and I ate it like that. Like so, the one thing I can't recommend the food. Well, I'm sure it's great, but I didn't taste a lot of the food. Mm-hmm. But I can definitely, if you're into Kawartha ice cream,
which who isn't.
If you see that booth, it's like that's all they serve. It's like ice cream related stuff. Just go there because that is like the most ice cream. I'm very happy I'm not lactose intolerant because that would have been a problem. So yeah, that was the review.
Amazing.
And then we have the last same. Now that I have a baby, I want to hand make her Renaissance outfit myself.
Oh my god!
To practice and make my. Oh my god! Yes.
Yes.
That is. That would be. We saw somebody.
Medieval baby.
We saw somebody who actually it's funny because it's Jane's boyfriend's sister and her crew. They were there, and so one of them had a baby in a stroller. They decorated the stroller like a castle. The whole stroller was like a castle wall. It was so cute.
That is adorable.
Like I was like, oh, I just love the
commitment to the
commitment. Like there's a picture that I took. I'm not going to show it because it's on the internet, but there's a picture of a person an outfit that I was obsessed with. And I was like, I know that, the nice gowns and the thing is like women love, but I want this outfit next year. And it's very much like, Dragon Fighter Fourth Wing kind of vibes. That's like full leather, but like I'm ready to kill somebody. Yeah. Like it was so beautiful, and like I was obsessed. And I was like, I really want to make this, or like not make this because a lot of it is leather. I wouldn't be able to make it, but like to get the pieces and like make my own version of this outfit. But yeah, like I'll show you the picture after. It's absolutely so people go all out. We also saw a few.
My friend went as a pirate.
We saw a lot of pirates. We also saw at least two Lord Farquaad, which was like Chef's kiss.
Did you see any Shreks?
Okay, so
that would be like top tier.
We saw at least two guys who were fully like green decked. Yeah, but I don't know green. If they were Shrek or orcs. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
They could be the Green Man too.
So whatever they were, yeah. However you want to see it, it was either Shrek, orcs, or
something else. Yeah.
But yeah, the outfits are amazing.
Who were they with?
Because they were just by themselves, just walking around.
Because if they were with knights, they could be with Sir Galahad. They could be the Green Man. If they were just with. Yeah. No,
they weren't with anybody. They were just the two of them together. So, but yeah. So anyway, like lovely to. It was absolutely wonderful. Nice. I think the reason I enjoyed the Renaissance Fair is because I grew up going to the anime convention in Montreal and Toronto. Mm. And if you want a community that shows up when it comes to costuming and cosplay, that's the community you go to. I don't care whether you're into anime or not.
It's impressive.
The amount of effort, of dedication, and craft and art that goes into some of the cosplay that you can see in any of those events. It doesn't necessarily have to be anime. It could be Comic-Con. It could be there's another one, like what's the anime convention, but there's also I'm missing
there's so many
anyway
of them.
Like any of those, like the second you are, this is, in my opinion, this is peak like cosplay nerd, but like the best possible way. Like I love it, and I love the energy, and I love because people love it. Like you go to those events and you even if you don't dress up yourself, if you see somebody who's like fully dressed up and you really like what they're wearing, you can literally like go up to them and can I take a picture? And they're happy to like, because that's what they're here for. They want you to take pictures. They want you to appreciate the art that went into. Some people literally spend the whole year making the outfit that one event.
One of my friends, Natasha, a few years ago to Comic-Con, she went as a mimic. But she went as a mimic that was shaped like a treasure chest.
Yeah, that's from Fear. Well, it's not just from there, but like it's a.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure which exactly she used as her inspiration, but she went as a mimic, a treasure chest mimic. Except when she opened the chest, she was dressed in like this beautiful, humongous white like princess gown that like when she popped out of the chest covered up the chest.
Oh,
but she made the chest big enough, and she did it with like this PVC pipe frame that she could like collapse herself down into the chest.
That
and,
is
walk around in the chest so that it looked like just the chest was like scooting around, and her friend had to like kind of guide her because she obviously couldn't see when she was closed into it.
Such
and then she
dedication.
Could like pop out of it. And it took her like 4 months to make because she had to make multiple iterations to test out that it would actually work. Because she had to like sew the frame of the treasure chest to the bottom of the dress so that it wouldn't so that she could pop out of it. It was so cool. It was so cool.
I'm gonna offer a theory that a lot of people who are really, really good at cosplaying should have been engineers, if they're not. Because like I feel like sometimes the amount of like intricacy that goes into a costume, it's next level. You didn't just like go somewhere and buy this stuff. No, you made it from scratch, and like I really miss that sometimes. I have gone back to a few of those. Like, and it's not even, I don't care about buying stuff. It's the atmosphere, the vibes of going to those events and like seeing those people.
Truly. Yep.
It's really, really fun. Anyway, so yes, if you've never been to a Ren Fair, the Glengarry Ren Fair, which is in, Glengarry. Essentially
Maxville, Ontario.
Maxville, yeah, like it's about, I don't want to say 15 minutes from Cornwall or something.
From Ottawa.
Yeah, so if you're close to Cornwall, it's close to Cornwall-ish. Very nice little town. I'm sure they love being invaded every year by us. Well, us now, because I'm part of this group now. But yeah, so that was it.
Yeah.
On to
Annie this morning. She messages me and she's like, "Are you awake?" And I was like, "Yes, it's 9:30. I'm awake." And she's like, "Okay, I'm on your patio." And I was like, "Okay. Do you want to see what I look like?" And I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" Because they're going this morning. So I pop out, and she had like a Viking inspired outfit, and I was like, "You look hella cool."
Yeah.
And then about 45 minutes later, I get a text message, and she's like, "So I left my lunch on the patio. You can eat it if you want." And I was like, "Or I could just put it back in your fridge." And she was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, that'd be helpful." She's like, I ADHD'd a little too close to the sun on that one. I was like, okay, sure, I'll just go put your lunch back in the fridge for you.
Oh my god, I love it.
So now she's gonna have to stand in that long line.
Oh, poor girl.
For lunch today.
Poor girl. Ugh.
Hopefully it's not as long as it was yesterday.
Yeah, hopefully. There are a few that were a little less, but obviously, like, the dessert stands are usually, like, because people go after.
Yeah.
I think if they go early, well, I mean, now it's 2, but, like, almost 2, but, like, if they had gone around, like, 11, or, like, first thing when they first arrived, essentially, they would have been okay. Like, the lines were really long, starting from, like, 12 all the way up to about 2:30. 2:30 to 3. Like, that was, like, really long. But then, again, like, around 3, they don't have food left. Like, or they have some, but they don't, you know. It's like you're there for the brisket, but, oh, no, they only have salmon now.
If you're going to the festival, bring lunch.
Yes.
If you own a food truck, try to get in on it. Try to become a vendor at the.
You will make money, and just be aware that you will have thousands of people going. So don't skim on bringing stuff.
Get as much as you can.
Because it was. I mean, I get
Amazing.
it. Like, it must be really, like, I'm assuming the same vendors go every year, so they know. But, like, I feel bad for whoever.
A couple of years ago, when it was the first one post, like, the COVID lockdowns, I think they ran out of food, like.
Well, they probably didn't know how many people were going to show up,
so.
right? Because it's hard to tell, especially right after a pandemic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What is this? Okay, my sister just texted me, and I'm curious as to see what it says, because I just saw the word book. Guess who has become a plain reader? Also, guess who is on her 4th book this year? Oh my god, that's amazing!
Good for
I'm
her.
so proud, baby girl! Oh my god. While I respond to this text message, why don't you tell the people what our book segment is today?
Yeah, let's do this. So, today we're going to give you a little bit, it's stuff that we may have talked about in the past, in passing, but now we're going to kind of dive in a little bit more. We're going to talk about 2 sections. The first one is going to be books, fiction, all fiction, books that have had an impact on us in some shape or form, but a tremendous impact, not just like, oh, this was a good read, but like, oh, this like changed my brain chemistry. And on the other side, we're gonna have the ones we anticipate to read the most, like we're super excited to read, where it could be anything. I'm gonna exclude, full disclosure, everything that's coming out this year that we know we want to read, like the next book in the Fourth Wing universe, the next Akatar, we know. We're very excited and we want to read them. This is, and yes, they're on that list, but like
we've pulled books from the TBR that we haven't talked about.
Yes. So like, FYI. So do you want to kick us off with a first book?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to start off with the book series. Okay, I'm going to start off with a little bit of a caveat. I think, like so many people in our generation, the Harry Potter books had a foundational impact on so many of us. I'm not going to talk about them today. There's no point. J.K. Rowling is a huge turf. We all have a genuine understanding of why those books were important to us as kids. I don't think we need to give her more airtime. She's a terrible person who's actively harming communities across the world, especially in Scotland and in the UK. No. There are some incredible authors and some incredible books out there that don't get the recognition that they deserve, and this is a series of books that had an incredible impact on me as a young woman and as a young reader that I'm fairly certain I've spoken about before on the podcast, but I know for a fact I have not given the airtime that they deserve. This is a book series called the Bitterbynde Trilogy by Cecilia Thornton.
I don't know this one.
This is a book series that I reread every 5 to 6 years, like clockwork.
Ooh.
This is a book series that when I went to go get it out of the library 2 years ago, and when I realized that it had been removed from circulation, probably because it wasn't being taken out enough, I honestly had a little cry, and then I went online to thrift books, and then I purchased my own copy.
Okay, good.
Right? I could not have access to these books anymore.
Yeah, that would have been
As a young kid, early teens, I would go to my local library branch often. Like, I'm talking like once a week. I was at the Ottawa Public Library branch closest to my home. any free time that I had. It was one of the places where my parents were like, oh, you want to go to the library? You don't need a parent. You can just go on your own, right? And for a kid that's newly diagnosed with a chronic illness, like I was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 12. This was like honestly earth-shattering for my family. We have no family history of it. It like changed the fundamentals of how we lived and how we functioned as a family because it was so unexpected. And the library became a place that I could go to where I didn't need supervision because it became a safe place for everybody in my family, and they were like, she's going to be fine. Like, there's literally nothing that she could do there that could hurt her or that could become a problem, right? It's a quiet, safe, stress-free environment.
Yeah.
Which was ideal. That's what I needed as a kid trying to navigate this new disorder. And I would just wander the stacks. Like, I read pretty much everything I could get my hands on in the, like, teen section, and then I migrated over into the adult general fiction and fantasy sections. And there was one day where I came across this book, The Lady of the Sorrows. This is book number 2 in the series, but I didn't clock it at the time. I had to have been, like, I don't know, maybe like 12. I had to have been at least 12 or 13, because this was really fresh after my diagnosis.
Okay.
And I saw this book on the shelf, and I pulled it off the shelf, and I read the inner leaf, and I was like, this sounds really interesting. And I took it home, and I read it, and I was immediately obsessed with it. And I realized after reading it that it was the second book in the series. So I went back to the library, and I found the first book, The Ill-Made Mute, and I took it out, and I read it, and then I reread The Lady of the Sorrows, and then I got the third one, The Battle of Evernight, and I read this one. And I did this in, I kid you not, 10 days. I read book 2, book 1, book 2, book 3 in probably like 10 days. That's a lot.
That's what we mean when we say we devour.
These are chunky books, right? And I just was like, I don't want to do anything else. I just need to read these books. These books need to be read. I need to have them in my brain. And these books are incredible. The author was heavily inspired by Scottish and Gaelic folktales and folklore. Okay. So there's a lot of the creatures and the terminology and the mythology that she pulls from is like Gaelic, Scottish terms, names, and creatures and such like that. Like it's very much like you can see where her inspiration comes from. It's very, very obvious. And it's I don't want to give too much away because I really want other people to read these books, truly. The first book opens with this young girl who wakes up in a small healer's hut, and she has absolutely no recollection of who she is, of where she is. But she wakes up, and the healer is like, take this, like, she's got this, like, mud mask on her face, almost, and the healer, or sorry, no. She doesn't, that's a lie, I'm lying, I need to go back. Okay, I'm thinking of book number 2, I'm thinking of the beginning of book number 2, because that was the first one I read, right? Okay.
It's fine.
So the beginning of Ill-Made Mute, this girl wakes up, she has no recollection of who she is, where she is, and she's found by some servants from this tower, this like aristocratic family home, you know, some servants from this town, or from this like tower, this aristocratic tower. They find her, they take her in, she becomes a servant in this tower.
Okay.
But she has an incredibly scarred face, she is mute, she has no, like, she can't really communicate. Eventually she learns enough like sign language that she's able to speak that way, and she's got no memory of who she is, where she came from, but she's able to like carry on enough that she's able to work as a servant in this tower. And the thing is, though, she has, as you can kind of see on the cover, she has this incredibly beautiful golden blonde hair, which is so uncommon in this world, yeah. Right? Because the last communities to have had this golden blonde hair disappeared like 300 years ago.
Okay.
So everyone's like, oh, like, who are you? Like, where did you come from? And she's like, I have no clue. Time goes by, she's like very smart, and they're like, you're kind of like, who are you? Anyway, she gets involved with some things, she gets kind of cast out of the tower, adventures ensue and things occur, and she gets involved in this like treasure hunt, and she discovers something, and she realizes the value of this thing that she's discovered, and she becomes determined to tell the royal court about the discovery, because she's like, this belongs to the royal court. Like, it shouldn't be just some people that have it. It shouldn't just be some random people. This needs to be told to like the king. The king needs to know about it. So she goes and she tells, like, she makes it her mission to tell the king about this thing that she's found, and she then along the way meets this like ranger. Think Aragorn, you know, Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Think Aragorn. She meets this ranger. His name is Thorn, and he kind of helps get her out of some scrapes and things like that. And he commits to being like, he's like, I will tell the king about this thing. You have my word. He's like, I know the king. The king is my friend. I will tell the king. But in the meantime, let me get you to a place where you can heal. And I will help you get your voice back, and I will help you like heal the scars on your face, and maybe get some of your memory back. And she's like, okay, I'll take that bargain. And so that's kind of where this book ends. And at the very end of the book, she's in this healer's hut, and she wakes up, and her face is healed.
Okay.
And like the scars are gone, and she has a voice again.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wait, don't say more. So
Yeah.
if people want to read.
And the next 2 books are like the continuation of the story.
Okay.
And I've given you like the severe cliff notes. They're not even the cliff notes. They're the club, right? But like I can't even like, I'm not doing this justice. I'm really not doing this justice. The way these books are written are so.
I would just want to make sure that I'm at the, because this is like 2 inches, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm ready for the ribbing.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and it'll grow a little bit too with blocking.
Yeah, ribbing. Okay. We're good. Ribbing.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. Plus, this will pull up, the collar will pull up a little bit too when you knit the collar.
All right.
Yeah.
As you were.
The reason this book series is so important to me is because of when it came into my life.
Yes.
Right? Like, I was going through a lot. Capital A-L-O-T. A lot. Like, when you are diagnosed with an incurable medical condition at the age of 12 that you have no family history for, that came literally out of the blue, like, everything in your life changes in a way that you can only truly understand if you've gone through something like that yourself, right? And fantasy literature became such a form of escapism for me. And this was one of the first book series that I dove into where I felt so fully immersed in the world and in the characters, where I was like, yeah, or like I completely would forget that time, that life, that the world existed outside of these books. And I return to these books every 5-6 years, and I reread the whole trilogy, and I just fall right back in love with them. I'm 34 now. This has been 22 years.
Yeah.
I have read this series, that's what, 5 times?
Well, it makes sense, and I'm sure a lot of people who are avid readers will say the same thing, because it's familiar.
Yeah.
It's kind of like meeting an old friend.
Yeah.
You know, like it's familiarity. It makes you feel safe. It makes you feel
like just...
Yeah, and then I feel like every time I read a book that I already read, it's not just falling back into that story, it's also rediscovering the story, and sometimes even discovering new things.
Yeah, and it's like, I can't, they're just so good. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should listen to the audiobook as well, but then I'm like, no, this is a book that I don't think I could ever bring myself to listen to the audiobook to, because I want to be so in it, where it's the only thing I'm doing, where it's just me and the book.
Yeah.
Right? And it's got like this beautiful, like there's so many aspects to the world building that I have never seen in another book or series or world built since.
Okay.
Like there's so many parts of the magic system that I am like, where did you, like, the brain behind these books is so brilliant. And I'm open to being refuted. Like, if somebody else reads these books and is like, no, there's a magic system similar to this in this other series, tell me, please, I want to know, because I love them so much. And if you ever want to read them, I'm going to read them. I love them so much, but there's like, and I don't want to give it away, but there's like this one particular like metal alloy that is used in these books that like have this whole thing, and there's like the magic system is so good, and I'm just like, I truly, I've never seen anything like this elsewhere, and I just love it so much. I just love it so much. And honestly, if I ever went to the Ren Fair, I would probably try to dress as this character in any iteration from this book. I would try to recreate one of her costumes.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so wait, do you have another book that is like on your "this really changed my life" or "this really changed me"?
I don't have them with me because I've lent them to a friend.
Okay.
But I would definitely say that the Golem and the Jinni series.
Oh, I remember you talking about this series.
And its sequel, which I'm fully blanking on the title of.
It's okay. You got the first one.
The Golem and the Jinni. The first book, I read it several years ago, and it was incredible. The book is about it's about a genie that's captured in a magic lamp who gets
a gate of no, that's not true. The Golem and the Jinni, and then it would be Hidden Palace. The Hidden Palace.
Wait, the Gates of Midnight? Is she writing another one?
I guess we'll find out.
I will do some investigation later by Helene Wecker. Wecker?
Yeah. Wecker. Oh, it looks like there's only.
Oh wait, The Gates of Midnight I think is like a prequel book that she's writing. I think I've looked into this. Yes. Okay. The Golem and the Jinni is a story about, it's like 1890s-ish New York, right? Like the Gilded Age New York, and you have a genie that's in a magic lamp who is accidentally let free by a metalsmith who is fixing the lamp that has been like passed down through a family for generations.
No, it's book 3.
What? Okay, well...
The long-awaited final installment in the award-winning, best-selling Golem and the Jinni trilogy.
Does it have the publication date? It just says expected 2026.
Yeah, expectations 2026.
Well, baby. Oh, baby.
Guess who's going shopping at some point?
Literally, we're going to hang up this...
This is going to be such a good year for books.
Yo, we're going to hang up this podcast and I'm immediately going to walk down to our local indie bookstore where I have multiple books on pre-order, and I'm going to be like, let's add another one, please.
Whenever it comes out, it's mine.
Oh, God. I'm so poor. I can't afford these books, but too bad. For Christmas, everybody, please get me gift cards to the Spaniel's Dale bookshop. Please and thank you. Anyway, it's 1890s New York. It's a golem. It's a genie who's accidentally let free from his bottle, completely accidentally, and a golem who is made, but then her master dies on the voyage from Europe to New York. So she ends up in New York without a master and without, like, no clue what to do, and then she gets taken in by a rabbi who realizes what she is, but then he tries to research what to do to try to help her either exist or to not exist anymore.
Yeah.
And then they end up meeting, realizing that each other are not human, and then kind of coexisting alongside each other, and then they get mixed up with, well, I don't want to give too much away.
Don't give too much away.
They begin coexisting, and then there's somebody who is just like, but I want the power for myself. And it's so beautifully written, and it's so... What I really love the most about those books is that the author has this way of making these non-human entities, the genie and the golem, almost feel human.
Okay.
But they're also so entirely not. Like, you're reading these books and you're like, well, obviously he's acting that way. He's a genie. But at the same time, you can so fully understand the emotion behind it.
Okay.
You're like, oh, I understand why he's angry. I understand why he's acting this way. Like, the core foundation of the action and the emotion, you're like, that makes total sense. I would do the same. Maybe not to the same heightened level, but you get it. And I don't know why, but it just, like, it was one of those books where, like, it just, like, seeps into the marrow of your bones and sits there. And you just, like, you just keep going back to it, thinking about it. And when the second book came out, a few years ago, I bought it immediately, read it immediately. It was so good. I tell people, like, this is one of those books where anyone's like, oh, I'm looking for, like, a new book to read. I'm like, have you read The Golem and the Jinni? Like, it's, like, at the top of my recommend list. And now that the third book is coming out, Gates of Midnight, let's add that one to the list of books to be pre-ordered. Honestly, I love me a good fantasy. And if it's set in a world, like a real world that I have an understanding of, like 1890s New York, for example.
Well.
I'm going to add that to my TBR
right now. All right.
How about you?
Yes, I'm gonna, before I start with these, I'm gonna give a mini shout out to one book, or one series, I guess, just because it didn't necessarily change. It kind of did, but not for the story itself. So the book series is a manga called Ranma 1/2, or Ranma ni Bunoichi, and I was probably about, I want to say 11 or 12 when I discovered it. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm adding this to the list is this book, or this series, is how I jumped into the world of manga, anime, and much more like stories that are like, if you know, like if you understand anime and manga, like the variety of stories, of genres, of characters, of worlds is insane. And if it wasn't for that one afternoon at the library where I found this book, I was just sitting there, just doing my thing, and there was a book there, and I was like, and I grabbed it, and I was like, oh shit, and then it created an obsession that has never left me. And if you want to know what that specific story is about, they actually have a reboot of it on Netflix right now called Ranma. Without giving too much away, it's literally just I believe it's considered a shoujo manga. I might be wrong. It's a shoujo. It means like written for girls-ish, so like romance oriented. I don't know how much romance you can see in this. There is a little bit, but it's more like a romantic comedy, if it's any indication. It's about this guy who's training, martial arts trainer, goes to China and then falls into a cursed spring that transforms him into a girl. So whenever he is doused in hot water, he turns back into his male form, and when he's doused in cold water, he's turned into his female form. And the whole story is him essentially navigating his feelings about being both genders, and him like wanting to be all man. So there's a lot of like, I need to be an all man, and then as the story progresses, like you go from the very beginning of him like always trying to go back to China, always trying to like to find a cure, to slowly kind of accepting that this is part of his identity. And the reason why there is a resurgence right now is most likely because of the ending. Because in the ending, again, it's an open ending, so technically they could still write more if they wanted to, but the ending comes with him kind of accepting that like he is both, and that's okay. And it's a very beautifully, I'm overgeneralizing, but it's very beautifully done. Like, and this was written in the, I want to say like the 1990s, 1980s.
Wow, very progressive.
So it's very progressive for that time. This is probably why there's a bit of a resurgence. So I highly recommend it. It's what started me on this whole thing. I would have brought the book, but I completely blanked on that one. Anyway, so what I'm going to talk about, I have to start with this series because, as opposed to other readers, I did not read a lot when I was a kid. As a matter of fact, the only thing I read was comics. I didn't like reading just because I thought it was like it was very hard for me to create images. So I just comics. The image is already there. I don't have to worry about it. And then I got to university and I did a minor in literature. And I read a lot of stuff I didn't like to read or didn't want to read, but I was kind of forced to. And I did it because I wanted to learn more about literature in general. Like it was very much a passion thing for me, like a passion project, I guess, like an experiment. And I went to one of my professors and I asked if they recommended a book series that was fantasy oriented or like, you know, otherworldly kind of thing that I could get my hands onto that was like, you know, like that was a bit more like adult-ish than like some of the stuff I was reading. And she graciously told me about the series called, or the trilogy called His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. If you do not know this, where have you been? But so there's been a movie, which was a complete flop. There's also been a HBO TV series, which was much better. BBC, and it actually did do the whole thing. So it's 3 books, and I think the show has 3 seasons. Yeah. So it you know, 1 season per book. I think what really got to me about this is the fact that I grew up kind of close to religion without being indoctrinated in any religion. So I got to see how religion affects humans and people that I'm close with. And this, if you are, it criticizes.
It is very interrogative, yeah.
Religion a lot, but it's in another world, so it's a little easy for you to distance yourself from, if you are like if you have some faith or like some kind of faith, right, like Christian, Muslim, if you have a religion, you can still read this and not feel like they're targeting you specifically, but it is a bit jarring because it does kind of come like and I don't mean it interrogates religion as a whole. It interrogates man-made religion. Yeah. So it interrogates how humanity or humans, or, you know, in these alternate universe things, because that's what this book's about, how they use that faith as a power over people. So it's not, they're not and a lot of other books have done this, but this one is very it was my first introduction to that kind of thing, and it was really it's also beautifully written. It's a bit of a coming of age / kind of like first love story. It's multiple worlds, wonderful characters. My favorite is this guy right here, right in the middle there. So it's the main protagonist is Lyra, and she is essentially kind of like I think, how old is she? She must be like 12 or 13, I think, when it starts. And she's essentially
like right on the cusp of puberty.
Yeah, and she's essentially going to be like thrown into this insanely oh god, I just wiped my eyes and I have, anyway, it's fine. I got raccoon eyes. She's thrown into this I don't know, like this world of intrigue. Her parents are both like she doesn't know her parents.
Yeah.
She knows one of them. She doesn't know he's her dad. So, and both of her parents have a very big role to play in the world that she lives in. She just doesn't know. Mm-hmm. And what I like about this is also because it was my first introduction to morally gray characters. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is, I mean, if you know what a morally gray character, you know, but if you don't, her mother is very much one of those.
Yep.
Her
father too.
Yes. You hate them, and then you understand, and then you hate them, and then you understand. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, why did you, oh, that's why you did it. But like,
yeah.
So, but it's, yeah, there's a lot of like, that's what I mean. So I highly recommend this. It's very much a coming of age. It's, there's fights, there's creatures called daemons, which are essentially, so in this universe, it's not Earth, by the way. Earth is introduced in book 2. So in book 1, the world that they're in, every child, when they're born, is born with a daemon. Not a demon, a daemon. Mm-hmm. So a daemon is a kind of like a witch's familiar.
Yeah, it's like an external representation of your own soul.
Yeah.
But like they're almost autonomous in the sense that like
they have their own thoughts,
personality, their own thoughts.
And so what happens is when you're a child, those daemons can kind of like shapeshift in
they're
whatever
always an animal.
It's always an animal. So they can be whatever they want, a mouse, a bear, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then as you grow older and you hit puberty, at puberty itself, the shape of your daemon settles into one specific animal.
Yeah. That's like indicative of you,
your personality. Yeah. So, and what the criticism over religion comes with what happens at puberty and how the church in this world is trying to control the children at that moment where their daemon settles. So, without giving more away, this is what the story is about.
It's so good.
There's world hopping in there as well. Her first love is a person from Earth.
Yeah.
So and like there's a lot of intrigue again, and there's death, murder, a lot of stuff.
Would definitely recommend, if you're intrigued but maybe not wanting to give the book a go, give the first like 1 or 2 episodes of the BBC adaptation.
Yeah, do not watch the movie. So the movie is called The Golden Compass. Yeah. It's crap. Don't do it. It was so badly done. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for the actors because it's not their fault.
Yeah.
But the BBC is relatively well done. It is not...
Give like the first episode or 2 a try. And if the concepts behind it really intrigue you, then give the book a go. Because that adaptation is really well done in terms of like fleshing out the beginning part of the series.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have to make changes as you go through for like brevity and cost and CGI. And, like,
although they did a pretty good job. Like it's not compared to other adaptations I've seen. Yeah. It's I would say it's on the good side of things, not on the bad side of things.
Fun fact, they were filming at my university while I was there.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's a couple of scenes in the second season that take place at my like building, the building that like all my classes were in. And I remember one day coming downstairs and like walking through the quad, and I was like, when did we get budget for gardening? Like, it's so nice today. Like, who did this? And
because
then, like,
they were filming.
And then, like, 6 months later, watching the show and being like, wait a second! It was because they had groomed the quad so that they could film a scene there, and then they just left it really nice. And it was like, oh, that's why.
That's cute. So that was the first series.
Such a good book series. Yeah. And there's more. He's expanded the universe as well. He has another trilogy. Is it the Book of Dust trilogy, or is that just the first book in the trilogy?
Good question.
But it's he's got other books that he's written within the same universe.
Yes.
That kind of carry on Lyra's story.
Yes.
After these 3 are done. So if you've read them and you're like, I want more, look up what else Philip Pullman has written, because he's got more of Lyra's story there available.
I really like his thought process about writing too. It's really nice. Anyway, okay. The next one is a classic. If you don't know this, I'm not sure where you are. But I mean that because you may not have read it, but you've heard of it. Mm-hmm. This is the most, by the way, fun fact, this is the most translated work of fiction alongside Don Quixote and I forgot the other one.
Count of Monte Cristo?
No.
The Bible.
No. Fiction. You know what I mean. Real fiction.
The Bible.
You know what I mean. So this is Le Petit Prince, The Little Prince, by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I added this because I must have read this over 1,000 times.
You love this book.
I'm obsessed with this book. When I teach French, I use this as a tool to help teach French. And I mean, without, like, the story. If you're not familiar with the story, it's not a very long book. You can see it's very tiny, and it's this little prince, this little guy so the narrator is an aviator, and he crashes in the desert and essentially finds this guy who's just standing there going like, hey, can you draw me a sheep? Like, it's a weird start. But essentially, this book is a metaphor for transition, again, coming of age, transition between, or what you lose, I guess, when you go from being a child to being an adult. So the little prince talks about his travels on many planets, and each planet has an adult that's, a type, let's put it this way. There's the greedy guy, there's the, like every planet is like this type of I don't want to say, it's not a sin per se, but it's a type of adult that you would find. Yeah. And essentially the little prince represents that inner child in you, and him navigating through like all of these worlds and going like where like not understanding why these adults do what they do. And it's also the naivety of the child, right, being confronted with this kind of stuff. And the aviator is essentially just receiving the story from the little prince. This book is very important to me for two reasons. Number one, because it is a beautifully well-written story, and the author, what happened to the author is nothing short of mystery, because we do not know what happened to the author. So
we don't.
So his death is considered mysterious. Let me put it that way. Yeah. He also escaped during World War II. He escaped to the United States, where he essentially wrote this. Or I don't know if he wrote it in the U.S. or he published it in the U.S. or both. But anyway, he was in the U.S. when it happened. I like it because when I was in elementary school, we did a play. And it was Little Prince. And I played the Rose. And I still remember the first line. I will never forget that first line. I think it's the only book quote that I will always remember for the rest of my life. And it's, "Ah, je me réveille à peine." And then he replies, "Que vous êtes belle." And then I reply, "N'est-ce pas? Et je suis en même temps que le soleil." Like, I was 9 years old when I did this. And I had to read.
What does that mean?
Well, in translation would be literally like, "Oh, I just woke up," and then he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I'm like, "Yeah, aren't I?" 'Cause she's a pompous little, The Rose is like, "I know I'm hot." So she says like, "Yeah, aren't I?" And I woke up at the same time as the sun. So her entire attitude is like, like very, very like, I know I'm the shit, like like the original influencer. So. Kind of attitude, just think that.
That's great.
I read the book obviously for this play, but also I read it afterwards many times just because I thought it was such a beautiful story. It's definitely like I said, definitely a coming of age of you. I think the lesson here is understanding that even if you are an adult, even if you grew up to be an adult, you do not have to forget the child. You do not have to forget the joys of being a child, or that the freedom that comes from being a child, because a lot of the adults in that story are essentially trapped within their own responsibilities.
Right.
And Le Petit Prince kind of like reminds you of like sometimes it's
feel
okay to feel the joy, still be a child. So there's multiple adaptations of movies and TV shows and stories and plays and whatever. So, but obviously nothing beats the original.
How many languages have you read it in? Because if it's been translated and you speak so many.
I only speak 3, but...
Have you read it in all 3?
No, I have not read it in... Well, I've read parts of it in Japanese, but I'm not good enough to read the whole thing. So I read...
Challenge?
Yeah, I should. Honestly, I read it in English. I read it in French. I've heard snippets of it in Spanish. But I have never... I've read parts of it in Japanese, but not enough. I think it's because I want to be at a point where I don't need to look at words up to read this. Because I have a lot of books that are... Japanese books that are kind of like the same level, I guess. Maybe a little like more like childish in terms of vocabulary.
Yeah.
This one wouldn't be super hard. It really is just a matter of like me sitting down and do it. But that could be a nice challenge. And then finally the last one. I couldn't not read or show this one because I think of all the books I ever read in my life, it is the first and the one where I cried the most. This is Danielle Keyes' Flowers to Algernon. If you've never read this, it's considered science fiction. I don't know if I would necessarily classify it as science fiction, but kind of. It was first published, it's pretty old. Let me just see the actual... 1959 is the original publication date. So back then, fiction. Now, science fiction. Now, kind of just an episode of the Black Mirror. So,
Dark.
kind of. It's not a... Yeah. There's a reason I cried like a little baby. So, the Flowers to Algernon is essentially a depiction of this man... here, let me read the back so it gives you a little idea, because I'm not going to do it justice. Charlie Gordon is about to embark upon an unprecedented journey. Born with an unusual low IQ, he has been chosen as the perfect subject for an experimental surgery that researchers hope will increase his intelligence, a procedure that has already been highly successful when tested on a lab mouse named Algernon. As the treatment takes effect, Charlie's intelligence expands until it surpasses that of the doctors who engineered his metamorphosis. The experiment appears to be a scientific breakthrough of paramount importance until Algernon suddenly deteriorates. What will happen to Charlie? So essentially, this pretty much gives you the whole spiel, right? So this young man is low IQ. He works a bit kind of like as a janitor, if I remember correctly. It's been a little bit since I've read it. And he's essentially treated as like someone of low IQ. So people are very dismissive of him. People laugh at him behind his back or even in front of him because they're like, he's not going to understand. Who cares? There's a lot of like that, like, I want to say like low-key bullying where it's kind of like he doesn't get what's happening.
Right. So
people think it's fine if they say stuff, right? And then he gets onto this program. Right. It happens. He, exactly as they say, he surpasses everybody. He can literally, I remember there's a scene where there's a doctor who tells him like, oh, this is not possible. The research says it isn't. And then Charlie's like, oh, well, have you read it in German? Because I can tell you that, yes, the German one says it is. So like essentially he's so smart now that he's like learned multiple languages and is now reading original scientific discoveries in the original languages that they were published in, so that he has more knowledge than like the doctors who are treating him. Anyway. And then, exactly as said in the back cover, eventually the mouse starts to deteriorate. Mm-hmm. So the mouse was super smart, and then all of a sudden, it's what's happening. Yeah. So the book is kind of like this ethical dilemma of what happens. Not only you as a reader, but you as a human in this world who may come across someone of low IQ, but also what happens to Charlie himself, who is in this mindset of, I understand exactly what is about to happen to me because I'm that damn smart. And that's understanding terrifying. That you are about to go back to what you were and knowing what you were. Because there comes a part before he's like super smart where he's just smart enough to like now understand why people are like saying things about him or when they say shit. Like he now understands sarcasm. He understands like things that he didn't understand before are now. So, and to like, it's not a very long book. 300
pages.
Why
you would cry.
I like to say why I cried there's no other book has ever got like I cry a lot when I watch TV or read books. Same. This is the first and the one to this day where just thinking about it and my eyes fucking moisten. Like this is how bad this...
I can see you glistening. I can see her glistening.
It's so it's so bad, but I really urge you to read it if you are like, I know it's an emotional journey and it is devastating.
But that's the thing, though.
But it is so important,
books
I think,
make
to read.
You feel things.
And the thing
so
is,
worthwhile.
It's not even about what it made me feel. It's about the fact that it is a very important question to ask yourself. Is, if you were in his shoes, what would you have done? If you were in the shoes of the people who mocked him, what would you do now that he understands what you're saying to him? You know, like it's all of these things where like you really have to, like you have to put a lot of, and like what happens to the mouse, like it's, and then of course read the book and you'll understand why the title is Flowers to Algernon, because there's a reason the title is that way, and it's, again, it is in my opinion a masterpiece 100% of storytelling, and it will rip your heart out, and that's okay. That's kind of the point of this book, is to really make you think. I think of all the fiction I've read, this is the one that has made me really think the most. So I highly recommend it. And those are
Ooh.
Those are the books that have destroyed us a little bit. And in some cases have helped us through, moments of our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
That's what I love so much about books is that, like, I really struggle sometimes. I grew up in I don't want to say this to be, like, to denigrate the way that I was raised, because I was raised in an incredibly loving and supportive household. But my parents were not always the most, like, they weren't always willing to show the sad, hard things. Mm-hmm. They were always like, be positive, right? And that also came, like, they're baby boomers. They were raised by effectively whatever, the silent generation, whatever came out of the silent generation. Like that was just a product of how they were raised. And so I sometimes really find it hard to be physically or, like, externally expressive of, like, the sad emotions, the frustration emotions. And so I find it really important to read books like this because they help me express those emotions.
Yeah.
Which makes it then easier to express those emotions in a public setting with my friends and at work, like, whatever. And so it's so important that we get comfortable with reading books that make us feel things. Or if books are not your favorite media, reading or watching TV shows, listening to music, watching movies, whatever. It's just getting comfortable feeling.
Honestly, it's a way to become more emotionally mature, because the thing is, if you're privileged to have a life where it's been a very easy cruise, for which, to be fair, everybody has their challenges. So when I say that, I don't mean that, like, everything's dandy in your entire life, but that if you think, critically, you've had a pretty good run. It may not have been the best. There may have been ups and downs, but it's been pretty good. Yeah. Sometimes reading books like this, books that bring joy, but also brings books that make you think, that make you, it really changes your or like it how do you say, like, it brings forth your emotional intelligence, or it because you have to, like, really think, and you have to, and that's something that I was thinking about this today. We are unfortunately, because of the world we live in, critical thinking is dying. And this is one of those things where you can still use books, these stories, these worlds, these universes, to actually develop this tool of judging, critical thinking, what is right, what is wrong, what is ethical, what is, and of course, what makes you sad, what makes you tick. Sometimes you read a book because you just need to, like, not think for a bit. Sometimes you read a book because you really want to learn about a certain world. Sometimes you read a book because you just want to read smut, whatever. I'm very much part of that category sometimes. Amen. So the thing is, reading or watching TV or TV shows or movies or whatever, but, like, essentially any work on any medium of fiction, of storytelling, it's essentially, the storytellers of old who would, like, not write, but, like, literally go in the village and just, like, tell the stories. Like, we are essentially, we have this amazing opportunity now to have those and keep those. So it's kind of like keeping that little, like that storyteller yeller in the village and keeping him in your pocket on a bookshelf or on your TV. And whenever you're ready, you're like, I want to cry today. And sometimes, and I say this and I mean that, because sometimes I realized for me, there's moments where I'm overwhelmed by life, and it's really hard for me to show emotions sometimes. And I realized that one of the best way possible for me to show emotions is actually to read or watch something that I know for a fact is going to make me cry. And that, like, cathartic crying session of, like, 5-10 minutes, whatever, however long, afterwards it just feels like, now I'm going to go take a shower. It's going to feel great. Like, exactly. It's kind of like almost like unclogging something, So, and it's like this is an emotional plunger. And we all need emotional plungers, okay, guys? Like, so books or fiction, because again, not just books, but any medium you work with, anything that is a work of fiction, a story that you enjoy. Like, don't feel bad about enjoying it, no matter what it is. Just enjoy it and make it work for you.
Did you read or listen to Remarkably Bright Creatures? And have you watched the Netflix adaptation?
Yes, I did. I cried. I cried.
I
loved it.
I listened to it and I sobbed like a baby who was hungry, as one should. And then I watched it and I was like, I'm gonna stay strong. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it through because I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. So I was like, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And then at the very, very end, they made one tiny little addition at the very end. And it, like a dam, broke the floodgates open.
Wait, what's the thing that they added?
So they're sitting in the bedroom at the very, very end.
Yeah.
It's Cameron and Tara.
Yeah.
And he holds up the piece of paper
Yeah.
with the names on it.
Yeah.
And that's not in the book, but the name is circled.
Yeah.
And I saw that and immediately, like a fucking fountain, I just went off.
It's so, like, yeah, if you haven't watched this or read the book,
so
like, that,
good.
Please do. It's a beautiful story.
You know what? That's another one I think that's worth mentioning.
Yeah,
Remarkably
definitely.
Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. We both read it. We both had a very emotive reaction to the book.
Yeah.
And it is this beautiful story of not just like found family, but like recognizing within
such a simple, like, I mean, it's complicated, but at the same time, it's such a simple story in the sense that there's not grand, like grand universes, like, because sometimes people feel like fiction has to be like this insanely big universe full of like, but this story is so simple yet so complicated and so emotional and so deep. And that, like, those, like, and this is very much Flowers for Algernon is the same vibe. Like, actually pretty much the same vibe. So, like, stories like that can be hard to read or watch, but or listen to, but they really do
so worth it.
Change your perspective.
We should get to our TBRs because it is 2:43.
Yeah, let's do that. Do you want to start? You have two?
Sure. Yeah, I've got two.
Okay.
So I have, my first one is a book by Geraldine Brookes. It's called People of the Book. This is inspired by a true story of the Sarajevo Haggadah, which is an illuminated Hebrew manuscript from the 15th century, I believe. It is I'm gonna fully butcher the story, but essentially the main character is like a conservator, not unlike myself. That's not why I
coincidence.
Wanted to. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, it is more coincidence. But essentially, the thing is, so this conservator, she gets called in to treat this incredibly rare manuscript that has survived centuries and a lot of like tricky escapes and all sorts of things that have happened to it. And while she is working on this incredibly rare historical manuscript, she finds within the bindings tiny little pieces of its life, like a small piece of a bumblebee wing and like a tiny piece of like a little mineral fragment and a hair and things like that. And she begins to understand and uncover the story of the Sarajevo Haggadah, and like it was made in Spain in the 1400s, and the tale that it took, and it's really beautifully done too, because like in the end papers you have the map of Europe and the journey that it took to get from Spain all the way across to Sarajevo, and you can kind of see some of the stops that it's made along the way, and interspersed with the story of, I think the character's name is Hannah,
okay.
Not Anne. While she's treating it, you also have interspersed with the story of the book itself and the people who cared for it over the like 600 years.
Okay.
And it is inspired by a true story and an actual manuscript.
Nice.
And it has been embellished. But Geraldine Brookes is an incredible author, and she's such a brilliant writer. And I have actually had this book on my TBR shelf for a while, but in the last year, 3 different people have been like, "Have you read this? You should read this." And I was like, oh, wow.
Clearly.
So I went through my shelves, and I was like, I know I have a copy of it. And I pulled it out, and I reread the inside of it, and I was like, what? Why have I not read this earlier? Right? Because this is exactly right up my alley in terms of the things that I love to read. And it reminds me so much of a book called Drawing in the Dust that I read. I'm blanking on the author's name. But, like, these are the kinds of stories where you have somebody like a conservator or an archaeologist or somebody who gets like really intertwined with the site or the thing that they're treating or that they're excavating, and then they become intertwined with the story of the place and the people who came before. And I don't know what it is about those exact kinds of novels that just really hook me in, but they do. They really do. And so I'm really excited to give this one a read. This one is going on my summer stack of books.
It looks beautiful too.
It's a beautiful cover, and who doesn't love a good map, right?
Yeah, no, of course.
A good
That's
map.
indicative of a really good.
Very excited about this one. I'm sure by the end of the summer I will be mentioning it on the pod as well, and I think I will just fly through it. So yeah, she's a Pulitzer Prize winning author, which is always a great thing. So yeah. Do you want to do yours, or should I do my second one?
Go for the second one.
Okay, this is a small one. This is called Sabella by Tanith.
Okay.
This is an interesting book. I didn't pick it up so much for the plot, but because of the author.
Okay.
So this book was published in 1980. Tanith is a severely under-recognized and I don't want to say like undervalued, because I don't necessarily know if that's the case, but Tanith is incredible because she... Okay, so we all heard of Neil Gaiman, right?
Yes.
We all hate Neil Gaiman, right?
Well, he's just...
Garbage. Hot fucking garbage of a human. Anyway, Neil Gaiman directly stole ideas from Tanith for several of his books.
Really?
Uncredited.
Oh, shit.
Stole ideas from her. And I found this out last year.
Oh, shit.
I found this out last year when I was with I was on a work trip, and we were having dinner one evening, and there was a bookstore in the mall that we were at where we were having dinner. There was a bookstore, and my coworker was like, "Oh, I'd like to pop in there," and I was like, "Totally." And we're browsing, and she goes, "Oh, have you heard of this author?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." And she's like, "Yeah, Neil Gaiman ripped off her ideas." And I was like, "What?"
I mean,
and
I believe that, not even because it's Neil Gaiman, but because a lot of people do that.
This was right around the time that everything was coming to light about how trash of a human Neil Gaiman is. So I was immediately, I was like, I'm not even going to read the back cover. I'm going to buy this book and I'm going to read it. And I didn't get a chance to read it last year when I bought it because my TBR, I'm staring at the shelves.
Yes, there's
a lot of books.
Collecting books and reading them are two different hobbies, just like collecting yarn and knitting, okay?
Of which I have too many. No, I don't have too many. I have many shelves.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's never too many.
I have many shelves of both books and yarn. Anyway, so I am now going to add this one to my summer stack as well. And this one is actually, I reread the back cover of it today in preparation. And it's really interesting because the main character, Sabella, is a vampire who is kind of living a little bit under the radar until her great aunt passes away. Oh, no. And she gets... kind of
called back into the family.
Called back to go to the funeral, and she's told, she's like, "You're gonna get a lot of money, so go to the funeral." And she gets to the funeral and she finds out actually there is no money, but your great aunt knew your secret.
That you're a vampire?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so.
Oh, because the great aunt was not.
No.
Well.
So shit's gonna hit the fan. And so this is only 160 pages. So I'm really excited. I think I can blow through this.
Well, in one day.
In a day or two. So I'm really excited, and I kind of want to get pretty much her entire back catalog now at this point.
Yeah.
Because I think that this would be really cool to read after I have read a couple of Gaiman's books. I mean,
well, before we knew
Garbaggio. So I think it'll be really fun to go through her back catalog and see what other. Not even
you might actually be able to say hey, I know
which other authors have been directly inspired by her, because again this one was published in 1980.
Yeah. Well,
right?
and again
she's been, and by the time this one was published, there's a huge back catalog listed on this page of all books that she's published. So I think this will be really fun, and the artwork on the cover of this is just really cool. Gorgeous. So I'm really excited, and I think it's really important that these kinds of authors who are uncredited and who end up kind of being pushed under the radar, that they get the chance to be brought back into the mainstream where they deserve to be, where they should have been from the jump anyway. Yeah. So and also, who doesn't love a good vampire book?
Agreed. Those are always...
I guess it's technically a novella because it's only 160 pages, but still.
Well...
So these are my two TBRs.
I have two as well, although one of them I don't physically have the copy with me because I'm getting it on Wednesday. Nice. So I guess we'll start with the one I have.
Yeah, do it.
Because it's such a freaking lovely book.
Gorgeous.
So I just want to show you how freaking lovely.
Yeah, sorry about the lighting.
This is
not great in here.
This is such a beautiful book. So this is from the same author as One Dark Window.
Rachel Gillig.
So Rachel Gillig, and it's The Knight and the Moth. And I think really let's be real, I just came back from a Renaissance fair, so I saw this and I was like, you know what, that's my next read.
I want to read this one as well. This one's on my
I've heard really good things. There's a few people who read it who are essentially told me that you're gonna love it. It's wonderful.
And the second one is coming out soon, I think.
I know nothing about this at all, except that it sounds lovely, and I'm super excited to read it. So, a miscloaked tale of a young prophetess, forced of an impossible quest with a heretical knight. The Knight and the Moth is the instant number one New York Times bestseller from the Queen of Gothic romanticy. So, I think what won it for me was actually just the fact that it's Gothic romanticy. So I'm obsessed with horror. I love it. I breathe it. My romance has to have a bit of horror in it. So this is very much a bit of more on the Gothic than horror, but still a bit of that mysterious darkness that I love. So and again, Renaissance fair. So I'm very excited to read this. Apparently the male protagonist is Chef's Kiss, so I'm excited.
I will have to borrow that from you.
But yeah, 100%. I'm gonna be so careful with this book because I love this.
It's like the not the end papers, the this part I'm blanking on the word.
The spine? Not the spine, but like the
painted edges. Yeah, the sprayed edges.
The edges are just gorgeous.
So gorgeous.
So that's the first one. The second one, which I will have on Wednesday, is a dark academia called, oh god, I'm going to get it wrong, Nocticadia.
Nocticadia. Oh, that sounds familiar. You've mentioned this.
Nocticadia. Yeah, there we go. No. Nocticadia by Keri Lake.
Yes.
Which, again, dark academia. So there's age gap, there's a bit of power dynamic in here, but there's also, apparently it's very beautifully written. There's horror. Again, it checks a lot of my boxes. And the reason I'm really excited to read it is because this is the book that we're reading for our book club. So I don't have much of a choice but to read it. But also, yes, I'm excited to read it because it's been a while since I dived into the more like horror style or gothic, because both of these are more on the gothic side than on the horror side, and I really enjoy that kind of stuff. Like that's the kind of horror movies I love, is when there's like that gothic feel, or that like I've never been into gore. Yeah. Like the gore of horror movies don't really appeal to me. And look, I can watch blood as much as the next person, but if the whole plot is about how somebody like chops off your Achilles heel, okay, what's the point? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't find it interesting. The plot has to plot. Like, the plot has to be emotionally but also psychologically entertaining. Like, if you want to scare me, it has to be on a psychological level. Like, jump scares and blood don't work. So it's not so much about being scared, but it has that gloomy walking in the woods alone at night kind of feeling that like just like, you know, gives you the shivers, that kind of stuff. And that I'm enjoying this. So those two are definitely, I'm looking forward to it. I will most likely start with Nocticadia just because I have a deadline for that one and I don't for the other one. Yep. But who knows? I'm also still reading technically Dungeon Crawler Crawl 3. I'm just slow reading it because I have a lot of other stuff. I still love it very, very much, so that's not a problem. It's just essentially waiting for me to come back from a book right now that I'm just finishing. And then I'll probably hash out number 3 before I read, before Wednesday, so before I get the other book. We're going to fly through it. That was, oh, look at that. It's pretty much 3.
Oh my god!
What? Look at us! I thought, oh, we're only 2. Maybe we're not going to have enough to battle about.
Yapper's gonna yap.
As if.
Yapper's gonna yap.
As if.
We should just embroider that.
Yeah,
here.
seriously, we should.
It's please. You give us a topic,
especially a topic like,
and we could keep going.
Books. We could talk about this for like 6 hours.
We have. We have talked about this for
so many times.
long.
So
I mean, we did the independent bookstore day crawl.
Yes,
you
which
know,
was lovely.
Which was absolutely wonderful. And we were together for like 5.5 hours that day, and we didn't stop talking all day. We talked about books all day. So we can do it.
Again, books are life. Stories are life. Not just books.
Yeah.
Stories are life.
Exactly.
I feel like it's what makes us, relate to humans.
Yeah.
To a certain degree,
Yeah.
I guess. Anyway.
It really does provide.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us today. And this is a bit of a, if you jumped in the middle, Anaï is not here because she got kidnapped. I'm kidding. She's at the Renaissance Fair. So it's not that she didn't want to be here. It's that
she's a Viking.
She's a Viking today, and she needed to go pillage some village.
I hope she brings back some bounties.
Yeah. I'm sure she will.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, and this has been Purl Perspectives. I'm Carine.
I'm Allie.
And see you next time with the three of us this time.
Yeah. And next Sunday, Karine's next Project Purl video will be live.
Part 2. In French,
out.
by the way. Because I like it. I like to mix it up like that.
No! Practice your French language skills by watching.
Honestly, just look for the pretty pictures.
And practice your French language skills by watching. That's what I do.
Bye.
Have a good one. Good.